Hey, this is Eva Marcel, and you're listening to Amazing Women of Power, Talk 247.
Welcome to Come to the Edge Radio. Hi, I'm Raven Blair Davis. I'm the founder of Amazing Women of Power, world's leading positive programming radio network. And you know what? I am not your host. No. But I have your host here. I'm going to introduce her because this is her inaugural show, so I want you to show us some love. And so we're very, very excited to have Joan Kappas with us. She's our new amazing host, and she's executive producer of Come to the Edge Today, which is the show you're listening to now. Let me tell you a little bit about Joan. She is a lover of life and adventure, living each day with joy and attention. Joan is a certified life coach specializing in helping people unravel the limiting beliefs that keep them stuck in their could-be, should-be stage. She calls it a merry-go-round. She is a publisher, author, and speaker. She does retreats, and now she's adding being a radio host. Yeah, and she wants to come on and reach all of you listeners all over the world with her message so that you can get off that merry-go-round she talks about, you know, the good, the shoulda, you know, I can't, I was, and all that stuff. This is a new year, 2014. What a better time than for her to launch her show than now. So help me give her a warm virtual applause, none other than your host of Come to the Edge Today radio show, Joan Kappas. Hey, Joan. How does it feel having your very first show?
It feels fabulous, and thanks for everyone. I hear the applause and the support. Yes, thank you, Raven. Thank you very much, and thanks to everyone.
Absolutely. Well, you know, I gave them a little bit about your background. We don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but kind of, you know, fill in some of the empty spots that you feel like they should need. Clip note version.
Well, the Clip Note version is I am a baby boomer, and I have lots of hats in my life. I'm a mom, a wife, a friend, a traveler, life coach, as you mentioned. I've been a business owner and entrepreneur, and through all of that, I have just woven into my life, uplifting all my clients, no matter, you know, what hat I've had on. And I just believe that we are all called to live the life of our dreams, and we can. And sometimes we just need a little support, and we can do that together, and that's what I'm here for.
Love it.
I'm very fun
too. So, and a lot of our listeners are baby boomers for sure. They've been following me for years, and now following all of our amazing hosts like you. So you definitely are talking to the right audience. What exactly do you mean when you say come to the edge today? And specifically, what is the edge?
Well, it's an interesting way of being, and I found that out by a song that I was introduced to in 2004. And the piece I'd like to share about the refrain of that song that rocked my world was this: "Come to the edge," life said. "Come and swim in my joy. You can laugh and play. Let your fears melt away. Come to the edge today." And I thought, what the heck is the edge, and what does that involve in my life? And then the invitation about come and swim in my joy, that was just such an interesting visual, and I thought, what does that mean in my lifetime, and what does swimming in joy mean now that I'm living, not when I'm dead? Mm-hmm. And so that started me on my adventure about exploring what that all is. And so really what Come to the Edge is, and I've come to love it. At first I hated it because it was scary. I didn't know. I thought I'd fall off if I took some leap of faith or whatever.
Okay.
But then I realized that it's safe there, and so I wanted to share with you what the edge is so you can have an idea of what we're going to be covering in the show. So actually it's many things. It's an invitation, and it's a doorway. It's a letting go. It's permission. And it's like a way of being in our day-to-day life. So I'll just explain a little bit of each of that for you folks. As I see it and as I've experienced it, Come to the Edge today is an invitation to look beyond like what is so that we can see ourselves in a newer and deeper and more accurate way. And just to give you an example of that, if you could put on your imagination hats just for a second, and imagine that you're standing at the edge of this mountaintop, and you're seeing the beauty and the expanse and the wind in your hair and on your cheeks, and you're smelling the beautiful smells and the expanse and the depth and the color, and you're just up there in awe, and you're going, oh my gosh, this is like the best ever. Well, at Come to the Edge, this is actually you. This is a metaphor for the beauty that you are. And at the edge, we experience the bigger view of who we really are, and the joy that we feel is from experiencing the expansiveness of who we are in this lifetime. And so it's an invitation to live life the way you really want to live, and to feel alive, and to feel alive daily, not just every once in a while. And it's also, I've experienced, it's a doorway to joy. So if you think of it like an entry point, like a jumping off place towards a way of life that we've always wanted, that's another idea about what this is all about. And it wouldn't be an edge, and it wouldn't be a mountaintop if we didn't have some letting go to do. So letting go about what? So we're going to learn to let go of beliefs that no longer serve us, and fears that no longer serve. Of course, letting go of those dreaded coulda, shouldas that keep us bound to a life that doesn't really please us or serve us. So it's like a new way of living, and we can explore the natural joy that's within us. And it's a fun way to explore the joy side of who we are, and to give ourselves permission to go for the joy that's already inside us. So that's what I learned from that little song.
And I love that you explain coming to the edge, because there's so many different ways to look at stuff, for sure. You know, and speaking of the different things that you laid out, you know, I know Inquiring Minds wants to know if you are open to sharing a couple of experiences where you recently had to come to the edge and take that quantum leap as well.
Yes, I'd be glad to share that. And it's actually about this show. It's the most recent one I have. I am a contributing author to a new book called Dare to be Authentic, and that's been put together by Mari Mitchell Porter, who also has a show on Amazing Women of Power Radio. Mm-hmm. And it's my chapter in the book is about, well, all of us, but mine is about how I came to be the authentic person I am. And in that book, I share the story of how when I was little and in my teenage, early 20s, I would hide in the closet because I was so shy. And people would have to tell me, well, so-and-so's at the door, and I would decide whether I'd come out. I was extremely shy. And so working through all that through the years, and then I realized, viewing myself from this mountain, if you will, that there's more to me, and I've got more inside me. And so when I was invited to be a talk show host with you, Raven, that was a leap I took, and I am so glad I took it, because we are going to explore this together, and we are going to learn and grow with and because of each other, and it's always worth the leap, and I'm just so grateful to be here so that we can all grow and share our stories together.
Well, I love it. I love the fact that you are an amazing woman of power. Thank you, Martha.
Well, we are. All of us are.
Absolutely. And I'm all for people and you giving them that loving push. Come to the edge and not just make a leap, but make a quantum leap into your new future. And this is 2014. I look at it like this, Joan, that whenever, we're blessed enough to be in a new year, it's a fresh start for us. So we don't have to look back on all the past adversities, challenges, failures, setbacks, and all the stuff, like you said, we woulda, coulda, woulda, shoulda done. We can only look forward. We're here in 2014 not to look backwards, but to look forward. So I'm looking forward to having such a powerful show on our network. I want to take you back a moment, because when you were kind of explaining what Come to the Edge means, you also mentioned the word invitation. Can you talk more about what the invitation of Come to the Edge today has to do with joy? Because you mentioned joy a few times.
Yeah, and, they're definitely related. And I would love to explain that, because it's a quote I heard. It's funny when you pay attention to other mentors and teachers, all the things that can change your life in one sentence. And here's another one that changed my life. One of my mentors and teachers said, the purpose of life is joy. And I went, whoa. So then I read it some more. The purpose of life we joy is joy. And then they said, we do what we do because we think it will bring us joy. Otherwise, we wouldn't do it. And I went, whoa. So I thought about that for a long time. And so if you think about it, everything we do is on that path. It's like, you know, we have our relationships, or we have our passions in our work, and we go on vacations, or we eat chocolate, or we buy shoes, or, you know, whatever it is that either gives us true joy or we think it will help us feel better. That is like our purpose, is we're always on that path of joy. So then I also heard from them that you are joy. And I went, wow, you are joy. Not you're just looking for it, but you are joy. And so then that got me thinking some more. And I thought, you know, from my meditations in my life and all my life experiences, I've come to know that joy is part of the fabric of who we are, and that everyone is made of joy. And then I thought, well, how do I know this? And then it hit me one day, it's because we never have to tell anyone what joy is. No one has ever come up to us and said, would you please explain what joy is? You know, when we finish the holiday, it's like joy to the world, peace and joy on earth. You know, it's like we're striving for it and we don't have to explain it, but we know it when we feel it, right?
Yeah.
And so at some level, and there's lots of levels to joy, as we'll find out, but at some level we've all experienced joy at some point in our life. And so because we're made of joy and because joy is always with us, think of it like we have our very own path of joy and we walk on it every day. And so our life's journey then is about unraveling what's gotten in the way and then getting down to the fun of living in our joy. And we always get a choice whether we want to believe that or not, but it's an interesting way to look at life, and it's very fruitful for me. So coming to the edge is about the constant invitation of becoming aware of this and choosing it, letting go of what holds us back, and then experiencing the joy of playing in a more joy-filled life. So the question then is, how far and how high do you want to go? I just love that. I just love that. So it makes life much more interesting than, oh, my God, I have a to-do list I have to get through today.
You have a point. I've never known anybody say, so what exactly do you mean by joy? One of the other things that you mentioned, Joan, was that this is a hands-on show. Can you explain to us what you mean about that?
Yeah, I'm a believer that you learn by doing, and so we're going to do lots of fun stuff. With our guests that we're going to have on, we're going to have guests that are going to show us what their Come to the Edge story has been, or at least one of them, because we have opportunities every day, and they're going to show us what path they took and ahas and tips about how they've come to experience higher levels of joy in their life and more of who they really are. And so we're going to learn from them, and then we're going to try things on, and we're going to become familiar with joy, because I find that oftentimes we're familiar with a lot of things in our family life, and the high levels of joy aren't always that. And so we're going to experiment with joy and really get to know the deeper levels of what that is, and we're going to unfold the layers. We're going to learn tips and strategies to unfold those layers so that we can really get beyond what holds us back. And then we're going to pretend that it's our sandbox for playing in joy. And another way that we're going to do that is I believe in giving people opportunities to practice. So each week I'm going to invite everyone to try what's called a leaping exercise based on what we've learned during the show. And these are going to be simple and useful tools that we can use to uncover our joy path, and then to learn to be aware of the leaps that we are invited to take every day.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be really fun. Mm-hmm.
Well, boy, I know all of you that's tuning in right now are just saying to yourself, this is going to really, really, really help me get out of that stuck place and move forward. This is a show that if you've been in the coulda, woulda, shoulda stage, and if you just seem every year like you're standing still for some reason in life instead of moving forward, you know, you definitely want to push yourself to come to the edge so you can make that leap that she's talking about. And how do you do that? By tuning in, tuning in on Mondays to Come to the Edge Today show. And she's scheduled to be on every Monday at 9:30 a.m. That is Central Standard Time. So mark that on your calendar. And if you're just tuning in, this is the Amazing Women of Power, world's leading positive programming network, powered by Raven International. And this is the Come to the Edge Today inaugural show. I am Raven Blair Davis, the founder of the network, and I feel very honored that Joan Kappes, who is your executive producer and host of Come to the Edge Today show, asked me to introduce you to her. So, again, she is a lover of life and adventure, and she believes living each day with joy and intentions. As I said earlier, Jonah is a certified life coach specializing in helping people unravel the limiting beliefs that they have. And she will also be in our upcoming Careers from the Kitchen Table Home Business Directory, which we hope to have released in February or March at the very latest. So make sure you look for both of those books. And make sure you mark on the calendar, 9:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, Come to the Edge Today with your host and executive producer of this amazing show, Come to the Edge Today. Now, Joan, let's get back into a couple more questions, and then I'm going to turn it over so you can actually speak to your new audience yourself. And I'm just going to take you back to the joy because, you know, I'm pretty good at feeling things, and I feel like some people out there might be saying, well, you know, I'm not a joyful person, and I'm okay with it. Why is this such a big deal? What would you say to them?
I would say to not accept mediocrity in your life because joy is a many-level thing, and there's so much more to life once we start to even allow ourselves to even peek into it. And we're going to cover that a lot with on this show because I know that people want to be unstuck. I believe that we really do because that's why we do the things that we do to try to get ourselves unstuck. Mm-hmm. And we cover that a lot at my website, cometotheedgetoday.com, and also in my one-on-one coaching with people. But for now, again, just because that's such a good question, put your imagination hat on again, okay? So imagine that you're living your life on your very own unique pathway, because we all do. And imagine that this path is shiny and gold, and it's made of gold, and in reality, it's made of joy. So know that you're very familiar with this path, and you've lived and walked it every day of your life. And it's taken you to many places, and interestingly enough, it always seems to lead up that mountaintop path called the edge. Whether we like it or not, it always leads us there. Mm-hmm. So over time, imagine that this, with our limiting beliefs and that result in negative experiences, this gold has been covered with soot and dirt and icky stuff, and so now the heaviness is there, and we've kind of lost sight of that golden joy, and we've forgotten how nice it feels. But because we can never lose our joy, and you'll hear me say this forever, you always have access to it. So every day we're given the invitation to uncover it, and in most cases we uncover it incrementally, one layer at a time. So just to explain that a little bit more, so let's say if you're feeling depressed or fearful, doesn't anger feel like relief when compared to the powerlessness you felt before? Mm-hmm. Or if you're feeling bored, doesn't contentment feel better? Well, joy is like the ultimate feeling. It's like the ultimate for us humans. So when you really break it down, joy is also the ultimate feeling of relief too, isn't it? So if your pathway is covered with fear and disappointment and overwhelmment and all that stuff, even today you can begin one step at a time to sweep away those layers that are covering up your shiny pathway. And this is what we're going to be exploring in our future time together. And this is why I'm so excited, because it's like all of us can have access to higher levels of joy. Yeah.
Did you hear what she said? Each and every one of us can have access to a higher level of joy. Just think about that. I mean, you are allowed to go as high as you want in your joy and in your emotions and feeling good. You don't have to say, oh, I got to slow it down. No, be you, free to be you. That's the authenticness in you, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the beauty of our show, Raven, and so I'm so appreciative of your radio programs, is that we all do this together. It's not just one person with answers. We're all exploring and all encouraging each other to go to that next level.
Yeah, and I know you have a leaping exercise for your listeners today, so you want to jump into that now?
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, everyone, here's the first leaping exercise of our show and of our time together. Know that we're going to start with small steps, okay? So this week's leaping exercise, I thought it would be good to start beginning to develop our awareness muscle. And awareness is one of the most important tools as we learn to live our higher levels of joy. Okay, so we're going to just play with it. So if you would, just get a notebook or buy a new journal, kind of make it a special experience, because we're going to be using this journal throughout our shows together, our times together. And in 6 months' time, you'll be amazed at how far you've come on your joy level. So at the top, if you would, write My Joy-Filled Life. And what I invite you to notice, it's a noticing awareness exercise between now and the next time that we're together, is just notice and write down what makes you feel lighter, what causes you to smile, or what causes you to laugh. Another thought is, who do you really feel good around and why? And to just take some time and notice the energy or the vibe that you're picking up from them, and to notice the people in your life who you think are living at a more joyful level on their path. You know, how are they being? What are they focusing on? What do you think they think about? You know, just use your imagination, and then pay attention, because I think you'll start seeing some cues that come together. And I'll post this on my website for you so that you can have access to this exercises if you'd like to go there. So you don't have to worry about writing it all down now. And that's at cometotheedgetoday.com, and you just go to the radio show button, and they'll be there for you.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love it.
And also really try not to judge it. Just notice and write it down.
And that's interesting that you say that, because so often we kind of, prejudge things before we even give it an opportunity. And that, boy, does that really hold us back.
It really does.
Yeah.
It really does.
We are very
it's a habit.
enemies sometimes, can't we?
Yep. So we're learning to cut those strings off, and so we'll start with just by noticing this week. Hey,
if you're just tuning in, this is the Amazing Women of Power, World's leading positive programming network. We call it AWOP, AWOP Talk 247.com. Make sure you go and to AmazingWomenOfPower.com or AWOP Talk 247.com. Either one will get you there. Click on the tab that says Schedule. Check out our schedule. You'll see Joan Kappas at 9:30 with Come to the Edge Today show, 9:30 a.m. Central. And make sure you spend a little time and see what other shows we have Monday through Sunday. We start Sunday with family, children, as well as spiritual type programs. And Monday and Tuesdays, more empowerment, the come to the edge, make that quantum leap, empowering the baby boomers. We have so many great shows on Monday to get you started for the week. Tuesdays, check out some of my celebrity interviews there on Tuesdays, as well as book reviews. Wednesdays, health, metaphysical, law of attraction, all that great stuff to keep your body, soul, and spirit healthy. And Thursdays, it's all about the cha-ching, cha-ching. If you want to make money, if you want to invest money, if you want to straighten out your credit, you want to start a home-based business and get the secrets, then Thursdays is the day. Friday, hey, they kept bugging us, so we gave them a day. I'm talking about the Amazing Men of Power. Check them out on Fridays. And Saturdays, we mix it up with some of the best shows that air during the week. So where can you go to check out the schedule? AmazingWomenOfPower.com or AWOPTALK247.com. Make sure you subscribe to our newsletter and get your copy of Talk Your Way to Success, and find out more about our hosts and stay plugged in to who we're going to have on our show. Again, I'm Raven, the Talk Show Maven, and I'm the founder of this network, and I just have the pleasure and honor today of introducing this inaugural show to you. Come to the Edge today. It's going to air again Mondays, every Monday at 9:30 a.m. Central. Your host is Joan Kappas. And, you know, Joan, she pretty much gave you a great exercise on making that leap and coming to the edge. So she calls it the leap exercise, and you'll get more of that as you tune in. Speaking of more, what are they going to get? What are they really going to experience on this show?
They're going to experience the feeling that I can do more. They're going to experience community. Even though we're virtual, there's still going to be opportunities for us to feel that vibe and go, you know what, if she can do that, I can do this too. And so we're going to help empower each other. And we're going to just learn practical tips. I'm a practical person, Raven, and so, you know, it's like little exercises. Everyone can do simple little exercises because one thing builds on another. And so I believe in just helping people go one step at a time, one choice at a time. It's always free will to do whatever you want to bring your life into more joy. That's what they can expect, and I'm committed to that.
And expect it. Don't prejudge it. Just come on in to Come to the Edge Today show and be your authentic self and let her, you know, help you really get there. Because 2014, you know what, I'm claiming this year as the best year ever, and I encourage anyone tuning in to do that. In fact, the station will be doing a series of things called Don't Wait to Be Great, Do It Now. That's our theme for the year. And I think Come to the Edge Today will help you get there. You like that?
I agree totally. I'm with you.
Absolutely. Joan, thank you for inviting me to bring you on. It's been a pleasure. And any final comments, go ahead and speak to your audience directly as we close it out, because I'm going to let you close out your own show. How cool is that, girl?
That is like the best. Thank you. Well, thank you, Raven, and thank you, everyone, for joining us today. I am very excited to be with you and to go on this journey with you. And your willingness to be more and to be here and to allow these higher levels of joy into your life, it just benefits everyone. And so thank you for that. And I just want to say, you know, if you're done with your coulda, shoulda life, then come on over to Come to the Edge today. Just join our show and join the wonderful Amazing Women of Power Radio, and join us on my website at cometotheedgetoday.com. Also, if you'd like to just send me questions, you can email me at joankappas@gmail.com, which is Joan Kappas, Kappes, @gmail.com. Love to interact with you. And Facebook, Twitter, all that. So just feel free to jump in, okay? And just to end today, everyone, thank you again. And just remember that the purpose of life is to experience your joy. So come to the edge today. You'll be thrilled you did.
All right. Yep. That's a wrap, y'all. Mondays, 9:30 a.m. Central. Come to the Edge today with your host and your executive producer, none other than Joan Kappas. All right.
Hey, this is Sid Reynolds, the host of the Entrepreneurial Pastor Speaks on the Amazing Women of Power Radio Network, featuring the Amazing Men of Power every Friday. Amazing Women of Power is brought to you by Raven International, the world's leading positive programming network. We're all about creating positive energy for positive results 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Be sure to visit our website and pick up your free copy of Talk Your Way to Success. To get your free copy right now, go to www.awoptalk247.com. That's AWOP Talk247.com.